What's up, guys? Mr. Knows Hoops back today with another video. Today we are back with episode 3 of the Pretender or Contender series. Shout out to my thumbnail guy, Josh, who's a Timberwolves fan. Today we are covering the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are 54-24, tied for first in the West, but I think technically they're first because of head-to-head. And they are 16th in offense, 17th in half court, first in defense, and first in half court defense. And we're going to get into something that kind of startles me about them later. But before we go any further, guys, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I want to hit 800 by the end of the month. And the real goal is by June, when the finals end, we will have hit 1K subs. And I'll do a giveaway or something. I'll have to figure it out. But I want to do something for you guys. So, without further ado, as always, this is where we determine which of these playoffs teams look like they can actually make a run, or don't really buy too much stock, guys. Just trust me, the market will kind of crash on them. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is this team's defense, because it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest reason that they got here. So, Rudy is averaging 14, 12, and 1, and Jaden McDaniels is averaging 11, 3, and 1, with 1.7 stocks for McDaniels and 2.7 for Gobert. And Gobert, by the way, is your defense player of the year for this season. So let's get right into it. This is against one of the best offensive teams in the league, the Clippers, right? Boom. Kawhi is going to push, right? Force. Good pass by Kawhi to Terrence Mann, right? McDaniels recovers, right? Good little block. Boom. I love, first of all, this right here alone shows something that they haven't had in a long time. Competent help around a Rudy Gobert on the perimeter / just in general. And then Rudy just does a great job, boom, meeting Zubac at the rim, not letting him control the pace of the game, right? And then the possession just sort of continues on because they get the board. But again, right, one of the deadliest teams in the league, the Clippers, right? Boom, Kawhi, McDaniels, beautiful job, right? Again, this is something Gobert has not had in his career. His entire career. Boom. Out of there, right? Again, patience. But actually having a teammate that can help you with that is going to make life a whole lot easier, just quite frankly. And then coming up, right? Again, the one thing I want to give Gobert some props for, too, is the willingness to play up. Again, Russ forces himself up, pause, gets it, right? Rudy just does a really good job. And I got to give Rudy some credit, right? Because the big thing for Rudy before was just punish him with perimeter play, small 5-ball team lineups. I'll give him this. Now, I don't think he's Bam on a perimeter or Draymond Green. But it doesn't look like he doesn't look like easy work on the perimeter. You can tell he's put in a legitimate effort to stop that weakness from being exploited nearly as much. And I think he also realizes now, like I've already mentioned, he for sure already has a better quality defensive team around him to actually let him do his thing. So he's still got to be willing that when that moment comes, he has to step up for now in return for those guys. And I think he's done a pretty good job at it, to be 100% honest. And then Jaden McDaniels, I think one of the more underrated players in the league. But let's get into what he provides to this team, because he's a big reason I think Rudy's able to do what he does as well, right? Just look at the persistence here on Garland, right? Allen screen. So he goes, okay, Rudy, I know you got this. I'm going to stick with Jared Allen, right? First of all, again, the trust, right? So he's pointing it out to Ant. Now, look, again, Gobert is willingly stepping up, right? Because some of these clips are meant to show multiple things. And he's doing a decent job, tagging him, right? Garland tries to sell it. And what I love here from McDaniels, right, because I was focusing on Gobert, and you're like, what about McDaniels? He's tagging Allen, right? And he notices, hey, Isaac Okoro's right here in the corner. Garland would love to make that kind of a pass. So you see he stops a little box out to stop any form of alley-oop, but he also goes, hey, let me keep this hand out just in case he tries a little something. He does, boom, tips it, pushing in transition, right? That's a beautiful play by Jaden McDaniels. And it also shows, again, the looks that Rudy can now have. And again, Rudy's willingness to take some perimeter challenges. Again, McDaniels is on Garland. My apologies. Notices Allen ain't getting the ball here, right? And we talked about that in my most recent video with the Cavs. We all good and darn well know, unless it's for a DHO, Jared Allen ain't getting no ball in the mid-range. Come on now. Boom. Picks it off again, right? Stops any flow of offense from persisting, which I just think is really, really good to see, right? Then, the other major thing for this Timberwolves team, all the reports are saying that Karl Anthony Towns should be back around playoff time. And I think Cat is needed. Otherwise, this team is pretending, to be 100% honest. Not that he's their most important player. Not that he's the reason they are where they are. But this offense can look extremely stagnant. So I wanted to look at something, right? And again, shout out to my guy, Josh. We talked about this before. The Timberwolves in late game situations, or like the NBA will consider clutch, which I believe is like a score within 5 in like 2 minutes or less. So I went ahead and took a look. And you guys can do this too on NBA.com. They are 27th in net rating in the clutch. That means, I just want you guys to understand something. They're with teams like the Wizards, the Pistons. Like, they are with the bottom of the league. And I think part of it is that for them, when the offense slows down, it looks a little rough. But we're going to get into that in a little bit. But I think Cat helps at least spice it up a little bit more to where things look a lot better. Right. So we're going to get the ball. Cat's averaging 22, 8, and 3 on 50 from the field, 42 from 3, 87 from the line with 1.4 stocks. I just think he's a huge offensive assistance here for Anthony Edwards and the pressures he has, right? Cat gets the ball from the keel. Got Powell on him, right? He goes, okay, I got to attack this matchup. And what I love here about Cat, I think he, again, and I've talked about this actually in my very first video I ever made about Cat. I think he's a huge playmaking help, right? Look at this. Beautiful pass up to Gobert, lob action. Because Cat is such a legitimate offensive force and teams have to respect him, it helps him then create for his teammates that for sure can step up when they need him to, right? Look at him here in the corner, right? Teams wholly collapsed on him. Kawhi's stuck into the paint. Cat just goes, let me just cross court real quick, right? He has that kind of ability. Now, it's not like Jokic where it's like, I want him consistently doing that. But man, he has moments like, again, right? Gets his low block. Zubac is here trying to help make sure George doesn't, Paul George doesn't get kind of, beat up. Boom. Zubac is a little slow. Bang. Easy buckets, right? And creating quick and easy buckets is going to be huge for this team come playoff time. And of course, Cat as a scorer, right? Slides off. PG and Kawhi are like, Ant, you ain't getting this. Okay, then. Bang. Elite shooter, right? That is what you want from this team. And I really enjoy this Timberwolves team, to be honest. Right? Staggered screen action. They love running that. I think it's very good for them to run. Boom. Conley out to Kawhi, right? Kawhi tags him on the hip. But at that point, he has the inside leverage. And it's a tough bucket, but Cat can make tough buckets, right? And I think that's going to be huge for this team going forward. And then, of course, the superstar of the team, Anthony Edwards. So Ant is averaging 26, 6, and 5 on 46 from the field, 36 from 3, 83 from the line, and a 1.8 stocks. He's their powerhouse. He's what makes them go on the offensive end. If there is no Anthony Edwards, this team is absolutely cooked, right? So let's get into what Ant does. Ant gets the screen here from Gobert. Does a little action to get Drew, right? Kyle Anderson pump fakes. He goes, okay, let me get Drew here one-on-one. Does a little, screen action. Drew does a great job of fighting over it. But Ant says, let me just pull up real quick. Bucket, right? Ant's shot selection has to be this consistent for them to continue to go far. Shout out to Josh. We always talk about it at times when he's in the clutch. It'll be dribble, hezzy step back 3 from like 35, and it's like, oh, so this is what we're taking when the game's on the line. Oh, okay. And sometimes he makes them, so, it is what it is. But at times it's also like, you're a great player. You can make just about anything else, and you're not Steph. Please. Right? Okay. J-Mac does a great job getting a little screen separation, right? And again, tough bucket maker, right? Like, that's not a good shot. I want that just because an NBA player makes a shot, especially when they're a high caliber player, like a Paul George, a Kawhi, Steph, Giannis, Jokic. Because they make a shot does not make it a good shot. That is a tough shot. But Ant's the type of player that when you need him, he can step it up. Now, and as a playmaker, has exponentially improved, right? Kristaps on the perimeter, right? Jukes him out, forces a commit. Whole team closes in. Boom, right out to J-Mac. Beautiful three to keep away. And this was back when the Celtics were undefeated, so I know it's a little early in their season in terms of their defensive schemes and stuff, but still, I think the idea stands, right? So he gets Jaylen Brown one-on-one. So at this point, he's hounding because he's like, okay, he's losing the dribble. Boom, boom, attacks. Now, by the way, there are also times where he does that little boom, boom, and he's shooting it, so it is what it is there. But I love this in terms of just, okay, they've committed to me. I don't really want to throw it to Horford and Tatum and Drew all in. So let me just make this a little tough pass, but straight to the corner. Beautiful three ball, right? And I think, again, it's just Ant as a defender when he actually decides I need to put in this effort. That's so good, right? Gets Tatum here. Look at the feet. Always shifting, but never fully committing to a stance. Pokes the ball out. Tatum falls. Doesn't get a timeout in time. Boom, forces a jump ball. That's a beautiful play by Anthony Edwards in the clutch. Now, what we're going to see here is my issue with the Timberwolves. And why, to be honest, I guess it's a spoiler, I will not be ranking this team as a full-blown contender. So let's get into it. And we're going to break this action down as slow as possible, right? So you're going to notice Rudy's running. He's like, okay, you got me. You got me right here. Mike Conley's like, bro, I do not got you right here, right? And Ant's just over here, and they're all just kind of trying to spread out, right? And they're trying to get that little separation. Ant gets, Cat gets James Harden on him, right? But just take a look otherwise. Like, look at the right side of the court. Ant's really just chilling. You think he's about to go dap up a homeboy. He's just walking, chilling. At this point, Cat's out here trying to go like he's in 2K, right? And that's a tough shot, right? Almost went in. But a lot of possessions can look like that for the Timberwolves in the closing moments where things just get so slow and so one-dimensional and so like iso ball, hope it kind of works into something else for a teammate. But when I show you guys some of those assists, right, I think when this team is at their best is when they force the issue at hand. When they force a team to respond to something, right? Like the amount of time there that Cat was spending just trying to force a little ISO shot / nobody really creating off ball for anyone else. Like you could have had McDaniels or Conley set some stagger motion, get Gobert out of the paint, maybe try and get Ant a little, curl. But to be 100% honest with you guys, I think this team is a dark horse. Now, the only reason I won't call them a pretender, I actually trust this defense in the playoff setting because they actually have the perimeter help, so Rudy can look similar defensively that he does in the regular season. And I think at the end of the day, Ant is just so good that he can win you a couple games, let alone a series. And if Cat comes back, as long as he's, relatively like himself, they can win a first-round series. Again, I guess it all depends on the seeding, right? But I believe right now, like the Pelicans are 7 and the Kings are 8. I like a Timberwolves odds if they're playing as a team like the Kings or the Pelicans, right? I'm not saying it'd be a sweep or in 5, but I like their odds. And if they play really well and it looks like they figured things out, what's to say that it won't help them build a long-term run in these playoffs or let alone into the years to come? So I'm going to say this team is a dark horse contender. Without further ado, you guys, this was Answer No Soups. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think about their late game situations? Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you all for your love and support. This was Answer No Soups. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.